And we're back with another episode of the Lakers Fast Break Podcast. The Lakers post games begin. It's Gerald Glassford coming right back at you here from Lakers Fast Break. Pop Culture Cosmos, where we cover the latest news and trends in pop culture each and every week, twice a week, wherever you get your podcast. On this Friday's, which I just dropped earlier today, PCC Multiverse on the Pop Culture Cosmos. Get it? PCC, Pop Culture Cosmos. Go ahead and check it out because it has our extensive thoughts on the Xbox price hike on Xbox Game Pass Ultimate. Ugh. Plus also as well what's going on with their handhelds. Of course, also the EA, I guess $55 billion privatization because they're going private. They're not going to be publicly traded anymore. There's an investment firm, 3 investment firms, I believe, including a Saudi one, involved in the deal. So talk a lot about that. Plus also as well, we review Marvel Zombies. That's now available on Disney Plus and more. So go ahead and check it out right there for you at the Pop Culture Cosmos, wherever you get your podcasts. But also as well, and great to have you here, Quabina, Dwight, Bloodhound, Antoine. Great to have everyone here. Cannot thank you enough. DBSH, Daniel Berry Sports Highlights. Yo, I was on his channel the other day, so check that out, plus all the great highlights, and make sure you like and subscribe when you're there. He's almost at 10,000 subscribers, so big shout out to my good friend DBSH, Daniel Berry Sports Highlights indeed. Also, as well, you like this? Hey, for all you guys that are coming back now that the games are going to be starting again, you might be seeing this here. If you like what you see right there, that's from my good friend, Drip Show. At Drip Show Shop on Instagram and also as well Twitter. Go ahead, like, follow him. Go ahead, reach out, message him because you can get something like this. Actually, you know what? Go get one of your significant others, your kids, what have you. Whoever buys the Christmas presents for you, because you can go ahead and get something that looks like this, custom made how you want it, or a t-shirt, or a hat, or even a Lakers pillow like John has. Go ahead. It's all from Drip Show. He actually does an amazing job. Dodgers, Lakers, sports, NFL, doesn't matter. Pop culture, I'm sure he'll do it for you. Go ahead. At Drip Show Shop, right there for you. Again, on Facebook and Instagram, you can see the quality of his work from canvas art to t-shirts to hats and more. Go ahead and support my good friend Drip Show Shop right there for you to go ahead and get your next big sports or pop culture gift right there for you. Also as well, again, our good friend Joe Sorrow, the evil one himself. Hopefully he'll stop on by to share some thoughts on the game. But of course, go ahead and support him on the Joe Sorrow experiment because you know he'll have the Dodgers games on this weekend. Also as well, of course, don't forget my good friend Mr. Stone Hansen at report underscore on Twitter, at report underscore court on Twitter. Also as well, of course, I got Next Sports Media with legend Alfred Esmond at Alfred Esmond on Twitter. All these great people, all these great places. The Lakerholics crew. Unfortunately, they can't do anything this weekend, it doesn't look like, unless I actually get them all together because Jamie's going to be a little bit busy this weekend. But normally they'll be here on a weekend, especially during the season. Don't forget what they do each and every day during the week at Lakerholics.com. Well, the Lakers started their preseason venture today, and it didn't go quite as well as we had hoped. No Luka, no LeBron, no Marcus Smart, no Gabe Vincent, and really no effort and really no resistance for the entire game as they got outscored in the first quarter, 31-16, and it didn't get much prettier from there as they end up losing 103-81. Basically, I guess it was a showcase to see some of the guys that you will be seeing on the rotation. I don't know what your impressions were. Want to hear them in the chat. Jake LaRavia, I think a lot of people are seeing him as far as Lakers fans for the first time. He was 3 of 6 for 7 points and 5 rebounds in 19 minutes. DeAndre Ayton, who a lot of people like myself have high hopes for, he didn't get off to the greatest of starts with 1 point and 8 rebounds. Rui and Austin were only in there for about 20 or so minutes. 11 points for Rui, and Austin had the 20. He led the team in scoring. Jared Vanderbilt was in the starting lineup. He says he is now fully healthy and healed, like I talked about last week from those double foot surgeries a couple of seasons ago. He scored a whopping 1 point. But off the bench, RJ Davis was the man, North Carolina guard, who actually, again, as I stated during our playback.tv/Lakers Fast Break live show just now, RJ Davis, coming off of his success, is the only rookie to get real playing time during the Summer League. He led the Lakers coming off the bench for 14. Bronny James and Dalton Connect. Oh boy. It wasn't pretty. They did score 8 and 6 respectively, but they were combined 3 of 22 overall and 2 of 15 from behind the arc. And that will not get it done for the guys that JJ is going to look at, a long look at for the rotation. So not very impressive there. And again, the Lakers just really could not find any kind of groove at all without their 2 top playmakers. And of course, 4 rotation players, if you include Marcus Smart and Gabe Vincent. And they do lose 103-81. But a man here today to talk about it, a brave man indeed. He is here for what hopefully will be many more times this season. It is the man, the myth, the legend from Lakers Corner and Clutch Talk, but it's mainly Lakers Corner. Where's that drip show pillow? I need to see the drip show. There's no way you should come on this show or be on this channel or record on this channel without your awesome drip show pillow right there. I just honked it before you came on the air.
Shout out Chris, man. Love the drip show.
Man, he ignores me when I come up to Northern California, and then he doesn't show the.
No, Gerald, no. Gerald, you thought I was in Oakland. I was in Oakley, Gerald. I was like 40 minutes the other direction.
It's Oak. But I tried to make it work.
You did.
I said I would. I said I would come to you, but you couldn't do it.
You did.
Obviously, you had good reasons why, and I won't go into. But I still got to rib you, anyways. It is my good friend, Mr. John Costa. John, great to have you here. Got the new pad for everybody seeing. For a lot of people seeing for the first time. It's looking good. The sweet new home, the sweet new pad, the sweet new office.
Yes.
The only thing that wasn't sweet was the Lakers played today, my friend, without LeBron, Luka, Gabe Vincent, and Marcus Smart, and Maxi Kleber, if you want to throw in as well.
Man, it was not pretty on the defensive end. It was not pretty, and it was not pretty anywhere. Honestly, the only thing that was really, really pretty, and appreciate you, JY. The only thing that was really, really pretty was just the offensive mastermindness of Austin Reeves. I mean, he had 20 points and I believe like 21 minutes. Was just out there going to work. But as far as like the loss, like I'm not really concerned about the loss, to be real with you guys.
It's the first preseason game,
right? First preseason game. It is what it is. I mean, you don't want to lose. Not ideal to lose, but it is what it is on a preseason game. But what you do want to take away with the takeaways on the preseason is like individual player takeaways, and that's kind of where I'm at. So like, I love what I see from Austin Reeves offensively, right? I just talked about that. Another thing I really loved from Austin Reeves was his decision making out of the pick and roll, right? I feel like that was one thing he really struggled with, I think, last season, is consistently being that decision maker out of the pick and roll and always making the right decision. Because sometimes it is to force it and try to go score and get a foul, which is what he's really good at. But sometimes it's swinging it, it's kicking it. And I really saw that from him, and that's one thing I really, really liked. But exactly to Dwight Smith's point, he was just a defensive liability, which is a super concerning thing when you look at the fact that our backcourt is going to be Luka and Austin Reeves, two, defensive liabilities in a way. Yeah, Dwight talking about, potentially even starting Smart over him. I'm really intrigued. And Dwight Smith, I would encourage you to go check out my channel, Lakers Corner. I dropped a video talking about, preseason season preview. And I was talking about just like the fit of Austin Reeves and Luka, and just how Marcus Smart is going to mesh into all that. Because yes, Marcus Smart was a defensive player of the year 3 years ago, but that was like 3 years ago, and he's coming off 2 crazy injuries, hasn't played more than 60 games in the last 2 years. So I really want to see, and I'm interested to see, where Marcus Smart meshes with all that and either saves our backcourt defense or our backcourt defense remains. But Dwight Smith, I would definitely encourage you to check that out, and I'd love your thoughts on that in the comments. But anyway, yes, Austin Reeves, I love the decision making, still a defensive liability, something we got to work on. DeAndre Ayton, points wise, and if you didn't watch the game, you would have thought, like, man, come on, DeAndre Ayton. But honestly, there's some positive takeaways. At least I got some positive takeaways. Defensively, he was definitely helping protect the rim, had two big blocks, and then also just deter some people from the rim, driving to the hoop. You love that. Also cleaned the glass in like 17 minutes, 8 rebounds. You love to see it. So those are like, my quick takeaways. I'll shoot it back here to you, Gerald. I don't know if you want to touch on any of that, but we can keep talking. I mean, there's some other players to talk about.
At times he looked good on some defensive sets. I will get there. Still was a learning curve, and you can see that because defensively overall the Lakers were really out of context. Right, we're really just not really good at times as a whole. Devin Booker feasted on the Lakers, whether it was Vando guarding him, whether it was LaRavia guarding him, whether it was Connect or whether it was Bronny. He didn't care. He was just using and abusing those guys on the defensive end. So they had no answer for Booker. And I talked about in my days leading up to this game, Booker as your point guard, I'm not sure it's ideal, but against a team like the Lakers, if they don't find something to work against a player like that that's so dynamic at the point guard position, that could be problems for the Lakers down the road defensively.
It absolutely could. And Gerald, honestly, I mean, we want to talk about problems down the road, like defensively for the Lakers. Kind of to my point I just made, like, that's why I think Marcus Smart is going to answer so many questions on this team or leave so many glaring holes still like wide open. Because honestly, if he can come in and even if he can just do, let's say, 70% of what he produced, the defensive player of the year, that makes a huge difference. That makes a massive difference, especially because the good teams around the league right now, they got good guards. So you got to have good backcourt defenders to try to slow down those guards. We don't, which is, again, harping on the Marcus Smart being such a big, vital part of the season. And it's kind of, in a way, kind of scary, Gerald, because it's like we're betting on a player that didn't play more than 60 games in the last 2 years.
54. I keep telling the number is 54. People keep, Joe can't stand it when I throw that number at him, but it's the real. It's 54. Plus, the guy in his last year of the Celtics uniform was sliding downhill, and it wasn't going in the right direction already, which is the reason why they traded him. So I'm hopeful he, in that time, has recouped a lot of his energy and will be able to provide that for the Lakers. But he's hurt already. They're already nursing him already, which has got to be a concern for us as Lakers fans out there when you see Marcus Smart still in sweats on the sideline, when he needs to get valuable time out there just to get reps to see if he can still do what we hope anywhere near what he could do or once did. That's what I'm worried at 31. I know we're talking about 31. He shouldn't be burnt at all and should be just fine. But again, he put a lot on that imitation parquet floor as far as a lot of effort, a lot of hustle. And I am still concerned that he might have left a lot of him back with the Celtics. I mean, it happens with those hustle and effort guys that sometimes they burn themselves out a little bit sooner than a normal player or even a superstar player would at that similar age, because they just burn themselves out at one end of the floor. But again, we'll wait and see. But it is concerning that they are still holding him back for, I would think it was for left Achilles tendonitis, if I'm understanding, which is still kind of, gets me nervous when you talk about Achilles, when you talk about an older player like that over 30. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. But I want to ask about the other you talked about Ayton, and I'll get to the other new transaction here in a minute with Jake LaRavia. But DeAndre Ayton, a couple sets, he did look like he was invested. He was motivated, and he did provide some defensive pressure at the rim, which is definitely much more than what Jackson Hayes did during most of last season when he was out there. I think it's a good sign for that. And obviously the 8 rebounds in 18 minutes is a good sign as well. But he has got to be able to score, and you got to be able to find him within the paint. And I think because of the fact that the Lakers did not have, outside of Austin, a really good playmaker in this game tonight, they could not get DeAndre Ayton in the spots that they wanted to. So I'm not overly panicking from what I saw tonight, especially from Ayton. But he's got to be able to work with LeBron and Luka at least some before the exhibition season ends, so they can get that kind of rhythm offensively and find out where's his sweet spots, where does he like to go, where does he feel most comfortable, where can he be most effective, John?
Yes. So real quick, I want to say what's up to Legend. He's in the chat. Want to definitely
Legend?
Acknowledge him. Great dude. But honestly, to exactly what Serge said, honestly, the biggest thing that I wanted to see from DeAndre Ayton was the defensive end and the energy, the motor, the blocks, the deterring players from going to the rim. Because truthfully, like I've been saying, literally since the second we got DeAndre Ayton, Luka is gonna Luka playing next to him. He's gonna get it easy like 7 to 10 points every night, setting the pick, rolling to the hoop. Easy. It's like 7 to 10 every night without a doubt. So what I'm saying is, like, the offensive side of things, I wasn't really worried on DeAndre Ayton. That's going to come along as Luka and him progress, as Luka and him play more games together, they get more reps under their belt. That's going to continue to progress. But it was the defensive end that I really was, looking out for. And, to Serge's point, I liked what I saw. Again, it wasn't on some, Rudy Gobert Defensive Player of the Year, Ben Wallace Defensive Player of the Year. But again, blocked a couple of shots and deterred a lot of players. And I'm telling you right now, man, like, as a basketball player, if you can just get somebody to think twice before to go into the hoop, just like, oh shit, like they're in there. I don't know if I can go in there. Man, I'm telling you, that makes all the difference right there. Mental is a big part of all that. So I like what I saw from DeAndre Ayton. Again, the number wise, and if you were just simply look at the stats, you would be like, come on, man. But the offensive side, don't worry, that's going to come as soon as Lucas gets out there on the court. The offensive side is just going to naturally come out. But it's the defensive end that I saw.
Once again, it is John Costa from Lakers Corner and Clutch Talk, along with me, Gerald Glassford. Thanks again for watching and listening. It is the Lakers, unfortunately, losing their first preseason game of the season, 103-81 in Palm Springs to the Phoenix Suns. JY has a question for us, G and John. Where was the dominant player going against the team that gave up on him? I think he's talking about DeAndre dominating. Which that should have never, that moniker should have never been said. So, because I don't see much dominating right now as of yet, John.
I mean, first game, and again, like let's not all base the dominating on the offensive end. Sure. I mean, like you can dominate a game on both sides of the court, I think, and I don't even think he dominated on the defensive end, but I think he showed some cool flashes for the first game in the preseason. So honestly, I'm not overplaying it. And to Search's point, yeah, Bronny was bricking it, but honestly, to Bronny's credit, he played with a lot more confidence.
Ooh, I'm going to go. We'll go into Bronny and Dalton here in a little bit. I'm going to save a section for them. Those two are going to hear it from.
Okay, is Joe coming today? Where Joe at?
Joe was only on briefly on our playback, in and out a little bit, but he's doing Joe type stuff, making millions of dollars, I guess, at SimBlades with a Y.com. Maybe trillions of dollars.
You said what?
The world, trillions of dollars. The world's becoming artificial, and no better place to do it than SimBlades.
Check it out.
Y.com. Yeah, there you go. Always see, I give him a plug. He insults me, and I still give him a plug for his business. What a guy I am. What a guy I am. But I want to talk about the other new acquisition. We talked about Marcus Smart, his injury. He's still not in the lineup as of yet, DeAndre Ayton, but Jake LaRavia was out there. We got a good long look at Jake LaRavia. At first, it was a little rough. That's with most of the Lakers that performed in the first half, but it got a little bit easier in that third quarter for him. Things started opening up, looked a little bit better as far as his catch and shoot, and then also as well his drive to the basket. I know I did want to go ahead and say, oh, there he goes. Yeah, Joe's working right now. There you go.
What a hard-working man.
Yes,
Come on,
yes.
guys. Go buy your freaking artificial grass from that guy.
Yes, there you go. Search is right. And also what was said earlier, playing against Booker, he can't look good. He's not going to look good. And if anybody who had any idea of him being able to guard relatively quick guards at the point or shooting guard, that's going to be an issue for him. But what he can do, I think, is he can be able to what he did, and he showed this in the third quarter. He can effectively guard threes and fours. I think he can guard those effectively, but we will have to see if his offensive game opens up, because it is also, like a lot of the other players on the team, reliant on a good playmaker to get him those open spots, John.
Man, hold on. I'm reading what the chat said. He said
it's not good. It's not good.
I'm trying to catch up. Hold on. He said,
and that's not even counting what Joe said. So
wait, our Joe or Joe No Ball? Which Joe?
No, well, Joe. Yeah, that's just right now. Joe is saying, I'll go ahead and I'll say Richard Case, LFB. I'm good with talking DK or anyone else, but still think Bronny is a wasted space, so don't care to talk. Oh, I still want to go ahead and share some thoughts, Richard, on it, because I think it's needed to be said. But I know you'll probably like what I have to say in regards to that. This Joe No Ball says this defense is really bad, in my opinion. Derek says, do you all think the 3-point game will get better because this game was concerning? Yeah, I don't want to take too much from this game, Derek, because it is the first game. But you know how we always...
People are freaking out, Gerald. People are freaking out. I think everybody needs to take a step back.
There's six. There's six. Yeah, there's six games. There's 6 exhibition games. And we'll see how it goes in the season. But we've seen teams before really just like lose, like go 2-4 or 1-5 in the preseason, then just like, okay, they find themselves in that couple days before the season starts, and then they go from there. So again, without your 2 top playmakers, John, it's really rough to really get a good evaluation of this team as far as from a top rotational standpoint, because you really don't know what you have.
Yeah, you really don't know what you have. And big shout out to Drip Show. I see he's in the chat here.
Drip Show.
You don't know what you have. And again, like it's hard to even if we saw Luka and LeBron and everybody play in the preseason. It's the preseason. Like the players that they're playing against aren't taking it as serious. They're not taking it as serious. 9 times out of 10, the coaches are running sets that they're not going to run during the regular season. They're trying it out. They're freaking tryout referees. Like this is all just a big trial stage. And I think it's cool. I mean, I think it's cool for the business, but again, like for us here that we know we talk hoops and like we talk on the channel, I think it's not worth diving too deep into and getting lost within, because like I said, first preseason game, first of 6, even the sixth preseason game, I'm sure we'll still have tons of mistakes. Even freaking regular season we'll have mistakes. Now the margin of error, will be a lot smaller, but just saying, and I won't complain, and I won't. Well, I'm not even complaining right now, but I won't tell everybody to calm down during the regular season if they're complaining. But everybody that's complaining right now, I think just chill out. We good. That's what I think. I don't know. Could be wrong. What do I know?
Well, Rob Pelinka had someone in his ear the whole entire game in Robert Horry that will tell him how it is. Yes. Yeah. I mean, would have been better if Joe Soro was there.
There we
talking
go.
Smack to him the entire game. But Robert Horry is usually not bashful when it comes to describing what he sees out there. Derek says, do you all agree that the NBA needs to do something about this training camp? Teams should have more than 4 to 5 days in training camp before a preseason game. That's not enough. you're right, because look at the guys that went over to Abu Dhabi and over they're flying, I think, over to Japan too as well. It's Qatar as well. I think wherever they're flying overseas. I mean, they had like 3 or 4 days of camp, and then they immediately boom, you're on a plane heading out of the country. And in case of the Lakers, you're right. They started training camp on Tuesday, John, and by Friday they're playing a preseason game.
I'm sorry, let me see. Hold on. Would y'all agree that you should do some about training camps? Should have more than okay. Yeah, no. I mean, yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure. I'm gonna be honest. I don't know. I'm kind of like Joe when it comes to like be like, oh, these guys don't have enough. Like, for certain things, I'm like, come on, like, get this get this done. Like, I don't want to hear about you being tired because you flew on a private jet. Even the Suns, they're going like to China or something like that. Like, come on, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it personally, but yeah, I guess that's all I got to say on that.
No worries, no worries. But once again, the Lakers do lose 103-81. We got to bring him up, John. We got to bring him up. Dalton Connect and Bronny James, who could be fighting for minutes at the back end of the rotation. That fight is still going to go on because both looked absolutely dreadful. This is something where, Bronny James, he played a little bit better during the summer than he did the previous summer, but he still looked underwhelming for the most part during Summer League. Dalton Connect, we've seen what kind of misery been in for a long time now. So you figure, okay, these guys have got to get their act together and start playing better now. They're no longer wide-eyed rookies, John. They're no longer guys that are just starting out of the league. They have to go ahead and play better now in order to get a spot in the rotation. And if they don't get a spot in the rotation, it could be, start their end. They're have to look no further than Nick Smith Jr., who just came on to the Lakers because he just got waived. He didn't have his full rookie contract honored by Charlotte before they sent him packing. The same thing could happen to Dalton, and the same thing probably won't happen to Bronny because, he's Bronny, but still, you go out there, John, 3 of 22 combined, 2 of 15 from 3, and 4 turnovers. Yes, they got a combined 11 rebounds. Yes, they got a combined 14 points, most of it from the line, but that is truly not going to help your cause any on getting regular minutes to start the season, John.
Man, I'll tell you what, you hit it on the head. It's not nothing's gonna happen to Bronny because and sure, the whole world can go and slander and him and his dad and his family, sure. But hey, man, reality is reality, right? Like, let's just deal with it. Bronny's not going nowhere as long as Bron's there. That's there. Dalton Connect. Man, he's got to start figuring it out. He's got to start figuring out. Like, last year the biggest thing was like, oh, he's the rookie. Like, he'll figure it out. He'll figure it out. And granted, he's still technically even a rookie. Like, a lot of people don't even consider you not a rookie until you're actually in the next season in the regular season. So he's still technically a rookie even by some people's standards. But I say all that to say, like, he's got to make sure like the defensive end isn't as big of an issue this year. Another thing that I saw last year a lot, and again, I wasn't in the team. I wasn't like in and around the team. Unfortunately, I wish I would be, so I can give you guys some great insider information. But from what I saw and from my years of playing basketball, it looked like Dalton Connect did not know the offense. A lot of the times he was lost. He was confused. He wasn't in the right spot. And as a coach, you have no time for that. As a coach, I would rather play someone who's less talented and knows the offense than somebody who is more talented but doesn't know. If I call a play, doesn't know where they're supposed to be, doesn't know what side they're supposed to start on, all this and all that. That's problematic. I can only imagine in the NBA. So I say that to say, like, Dalton Connect, I hope that's not an issue this season as well. It looked like that was an issue last season. The defensive end, he's got to get that unlocked. But also, he's really got to get just like, I think his mental straight, right? And again, this is really hard to say this without knowing him personally, but it's like, he misses the shot. It's like, It's like Dalton, dog. Like you can't show that kind of emotion. Like you just can't. If you feed into that kind of emotion, it's like, oh, I missed. Finally, I made one. Like, oh man, like though that right there will keep you going down. I'll tell you what. I heard this one time from a great basketball player. There's two type of basketball players, right? There's the one that is missing over and over and over, and he's like, you know what? Let me pass. Let me do other things so I can affect the game. And then there's the other one that's like missing over and over and over, and it says, "Well, shit, I've missed my last 5. I gotta make the next one. I'm bound to hit when I'm due." And those are the great players right there. The ones that are like, "Shit, I've missed my last 6, but I guarantee this next one going down." And you stay with that kind of confidence. When it's low, you stay with that kind of confidence. When it's high, you stay with that kind of confidence. But on Dalton Connect side of things, man, his biggest excuse last year was just, again, oh, he's a rookie, give him time. Well, let's see, man. We're giving him time. Shout out Drip Show.
Yeah, shout out Drip Show, indeed. Thank you so much for the super chat. He said, I was expecting everyone to be in championship shape. Didn't we hear stories that the guys were having great workouts in the offseason? Yes, you did. JJ was happy that everybody seemed to be getting, in his opinion, into quote-unquote championship shape. And he pushed the guys hard, supposedly, this week during training camp. But, yeah, it just seemed like the Lakers didn't utilize some of that championship shape and seemed to have no energy. Phoenix clearly outplayed them. I don't share the same confidence with you right now, John, because I'm really concerned about Dalton if his head is really messed up after what happened with the trade, because it just has never come back. It's not come back at all as far as his shot. And he just plays defense at such a low level. He can't be out there unless he's hitting shots. And with Bronny's just chucking. If he does that during the season, it's an embarrassment, because he just cannot be just chucking up shots one after another like he did tonight. That's just not good. It's just not good for the team, and it's just not a good look for what's going on with the Lakers. It's just that simple. But
I agree.
I'll just leave it at that. I'll leave it at that, my friend.
I agree. You know what is a good look though? That dunk that Jackson Hayes had on Devin Booker. I was watching the game and I was like, God damn, that was insane.
Well, that's what he does. That's what he can do. Now, if he only can go ahead and apply that on the defensive end to more better rim protection, there you go. We can get ourselves finally a decent backup center, but we'll have to wait and see how it sticks out, because he is looking for a contract next summer as well. We don't know what'll happen with him as far as his future as a Laker or somewhere else in the league if he doesn't go ahead and continue to be just more than a pick and roll guy. We need him to be a solid rebounder and a defensive presence. And if he can do that in 15 minutes a game, I think everybody else here would be ecstatic if that's the case. But we didn't see much of that on the defensive end outside of one block shot, I think, tonight. So I'm hoping for better things for him. But I wanted to go ahead and get your thoughts on this. Derek said, and do you all think it's concerning that LeBron James is starting this preseason with an injury? I understand he's in year 23, but that's not a good sign in my opinion. I did want to say, I said it earlier this week, Derek, that according to the tweets that were out there, according to what ESPN reports and whatnot, they're saying that LeBron's camp. Okay, what does this remind you of? Who does this remind you of, John? LeBron's camp notified the Lakers front office about making sure there would be a slow and careful ramp up to the regular season. I know he was listed out with, and again, I wish Joe was here to go ahead and provide his unique commentary on this, a glute injury. So I'll leave that to your imagination, guys, in the chat on that one. But yes, it was a glute injury. He said I guess he felt a tingling was the exact explanation in the glute.
All right, now, bro.
That's, again, I'll let you guys go ahead and finish the conversation on that one, but I don't take too much from it yet, Derek. Again, I think that it is. Speaking of which, you know what, Joe? You know what, John? Joe ends up right here when you talk about
there he is.
Tingling.
And he got the hat too, man.
Yes, there you go. Mr. Simblades, Simblades.com. You knew when we started to mention glutes and tingling, he would show up. It is, of course, Joe Storrow. Joe, great to have you here, my friend. Not a very impressive start, but again, I don't want to put too much into it. The playmakers weren't there. 4 of the rotation guys weren't there. but it wasn't a very auspicious start from some of the guys trying to earn rotation minutes after a dismal performance tonight in Palm Springs. Here we go. He's taking a big break.
What I was afraid was going to happened in the first preseason game, which was your first guy off the bench. Well, there was two guys, but one was Bronny James. I don't understand what's going on here. I don't understand what they're doing here. I don't care. This is where you're supposed to get your reps. You saw Austin Reeves putting in the effort. You put in, when you hear about the good players, the players that prepare, the players that perform, they take care of their business at practice. They take care of their business in their preparation after practice and preseasons and stuff like that. I'm not saying go all out. I'm not saying you're going to play every game, but you got to get something going. You got to get some kind of momentum. You got to get some kind of, hey, we're here. We're going to start doing some things so that we can start getting ourselves mentally ready to play. If JJ Redick is going to follow this game plan, it's not going to last long, and it's going to waste everyone's time. It's already wasting everyone's time. And the charade is over. It's serious. Seriously, it's over. Like it's been over, but now it's really like the joke is done, man. Can you let the people? Can you let the adults play basketball, please? The Lakers are not in any position to experiment. They don't have enough depth to experiment. Barely. The guys that are veterans who've been playing, who are somewhat valuable, but we don't know if they're going to be completely valuable because we don't know if they're going to be healthy enough. I'm sorry, I've never heard of this word in my life, but apparently Marcus Smart had tendinopathy in his ankle. What the fuck is tendinopathy?
Tendonitis, for lack of a better word.
So we all got to be doctors now with the lingo. He had a bone contusion. Just say bruise. He had a bone bruise. What's this contusion bullshit? Tendinopathy. It took me like 10 tries, and I have a college education to read that shit. And I finally got it after the 10th try. Like, what is this? I've been watching basketball for 35 years. I've never heard of that word described in any tendon, let alone the Achilles tendon. So I don't know what they're doing already out of the gate. Actually, no, I do know. I do know, and I'm tired of knowing. I want to be surprised. I just want to be surprised. I want to see something, some kind of heart, some kind of. You just got an extension for God knows what reason. Are you bringing something to the table in your second year? Is this team going to have an identity, or are you just going to let Luka play basketball like Luka plays basketball, and you're just going to let LeBron do what he's like? Is there some kind of system? If you look at the history of perennial winners, title winners, there's always a system, because you have to fall back on something when everything falls apart. When someone is guarding your star player or star players, you need a system to fall back on so that the Robert Ory's have the chance. And I'm using Robert as an example because you talked about him, and we all know Robert. Why do we love Robert Ory? Why do we love Robert Ory? Most people think Lakers fans love Robert Ory because of the shot in Sacramento, the shot in Portland, the shot in Philly, clutch. No, that's part of it. But what's great about Robert Horry is he is one of those few guys that doesn't bullshit. He tells it the way it's supposed to be told, and no one's going to argue against him. Who's going to argue against Robert Horry? Robert Horry is the most clutch non-star probably in the history of the sport. That guy won 3 titles for each of his title teams just by doing things in the time he was with the team. That's how big that guy. Imagine that. 1 title in that situation is amazing. He did it 3 times. 95 finals with Houston, the 05 title for San Antonio, and, of course, an 02 for the Lakers. I mean, specific shots that won them those titles. So it's a preseason start. We're going to watch and see what develops, but I'm telling you right now, and I'm going to keep telling you this: if they don't get out of this, I gotta do something for the dad that puts money in the boosters. AKA LeBron James, got to take care of his kid. It's gonna be scorched earth time, because every minute that guy plays, significant minutes, the Lakers are at a disadvantage, even against the worst team in the NBA.
Once again, it is the Lakers losing 103-81. It is Joe Soro. Hopefully John Cost will be back, but he's doing what he needs to do as far as his post-game report, which you can go ahead and catch on Lakers Corner. So go ahead and support him by liking and subscribing there today. Don't forget the Joe Soro experiment. He'll have on playback the Dodgers games this weekend. Plus, also, I'm sure he's got a Joe Soro experiment when he can go ahead and make sure he's got one for you ready coming up here, hopefully in the next few days on YouTube as well. I wanted to go ahead and talk a little bit about Jared Vanderbilt. Again, I had mentioned that he did look a little bit more active, a little bit more fluid in the first half, coming back a season, I guess an extra season after his double foot surgery. And he mentioned how he felt healthier than he has in a long time. You know, they always say that leading into training camp, but he said a year removed from that surgery helped him feel a lot better. And I noted in the first half that Mike Trudell said on Twitter, he said some impressive defensive moments at the rim for Ayton, which we saw, a couple block shots early, and on the perimeter from Jared Vanderbilt. And at that time, Joe, Vanderbilt is a +7 in a game that they were down 36-28. Well, lo and behold, if you saw the rest of the game, you saw that Jared Vanderbilt kind of let things slide on by a little bit more as the game went on. It ended up being a -11 for the game, but also his offensive skills, Joe, still are there, what there is of him, which is none, because he only gave you 1 point out there on the floor in 20 minutes. So it's another problem the Lakers have, is that even if he feels better, can defend a little bit better, he is going to be an issue out there because of what he can't give you on the offensive end, Joe.
I don't really have a.
Well, if you don't like seeing Bronny, you're also going to see.
I don't really have anything else to say about Jared Vanderbilt. At least Jared Vanderbilt is an NBA player. At least I just don't. It doesn't matter how good he plays in the regular season. I don't care what his plus minus is. He's a negative when it matters. And waiting another 6 months to the playoffs for him to be non-existent isn't something I'm looking forward to watching again. He has no ability to change the game when it matters. I'm not really interested in game 54 or game 77.
I just want to tell you, because again, I'm looking at Twitter right now and I got a lot of notifications from the Buhas and from the Trudells and whatnot, and they all want to push the narrative for you on Jared Vanderbilt. I just want to get you ready for
that. Those guys have agendas that they have to run so that they can be in the good graces of these players and this organization. The beautiful thing about freedom, this is when we discuss freedom in the world, this country, whatever. What's freedom? freedom to say what you want, freedom to do what you want. Obviously, you can't do everything you want. There's laws and regulations. You can't go steal stuff. I guess you could maybe if you're in California, but you're risking getting in trouble, right? So point is, you all know what I'm talking about. When you have the freedom to speak and not worried about an agenda or trying to get in with the crowd, you're going to live a much cleaner, much easier life. I don't care to be Jared Vanderbilt's friend. I don't care to be a part of the Laker organization. If that happens in the future, hey, cool. But it would be even worse if I was involved with the organization, because I would see things and go, what are you guys doing here? You guys this is stupid. Which is, most people don't like people like me around doing that. Very few people will take constructive criticism and use it. Very fewer than you would imagine. They're out there, but very few people. And we've seen evidence that the Lakers don't like negative press. They don't like anybody telling them not to do certain things or whatever. They get very, very, very sensitive. But that's society in general. It's not just a Laker thing. I don't give a shit what Trudell says. I don't care what any Laker analyst says. It does not matter a lick to me, because I'm in the results business. And when the results are not producing, I win the argument no matter who you are. It doesn't matter if you're a billionaire. It doesn't matter if you're a millionaire. It doesn't matter if you own the Lakers. It doesn't matter if you're an NBA player. If I'm looking at something and I see zero results, I'm going to tell you there's zero results, because that's what it is. So you can come back with whatever you want to talk about. Oh, well, they're injured, and oh, well, maybe the coach. No. Especially in the NBA, talent overrides all that BS. If you don't believe me, go look at James Harden. Go look at Jimmy Butler's career. These guys have been complete anuses their entire career. Sabotaged almost every team that they've been on, only to be rewarded by the next team with either money or a chance to be stars on their team, right? That's because of the talent. That's because they produce results when they are on the court. Jared Vanderbilt produces dick when it matters. And JJ Redick needs to stop the fucking charity case. This is the time where guys who actually have a chance to make a difference, as a few of them as there are, I don't know, Davis might be somebody. Guys, the Lakers have turned free agent players into stars. Who's to say that they won't? Who's to say that the guys that they brought in won't do something? We don't know that. But if they're not given the chance, because you want to create this make-a-wish thing still, how do we know? How do we know that RJ Davis isn't going to be something good? I don't know. I've seen him play very little, but I'd rather them focus on something like that than something we already know. So there's a pattern that I keep seeing. Have you noticed, Gerald, the last 3-4 years, every preseason game, every game that doesn't quote unquote matter, they're always getting blown out. Have you noticed that?
Yep.
It sets bad habits. It sets bad habits if you're always making an excuse on why you're sucking ass. So, DeAndre Ayton saw a lot of good things there. He is going to be much better with talent around him. It's ridiculously obvious. When that guy has Luka and LeBron and a full slate of legitimate guys on there, he is going to be an asset because the replacement. DeAndre Ayton is going to be better no matter what, because the Lakers didn't have anyone after AD. It's just, that's how I'm looking at that. He's better than anything they had after the AD trade. So If you come back and you say, well, would you rather have AD on the team or DeAndre Ayton and Luka Doncic? 100% of the time, I'm saying DeAndre Ayton and Luka Doncic. So that already is an upgrade, and I believe he looks like he's lost a lot of weight too. Looks pretty, tight. I think he'll be fine. Reeves looks great. Reeves looks like he's ready to play the season. Rui had good spots. I wish I don't know what happened with his to the basket finishes. He didn't look good tonight. He needs to continue to still work on that because he does fall into that issue every now and then. Dalton Connect, unfortunately, is it's getting really, really sad at this point with him. I don't know what to make of what's going on with him. I don't think it's reeling from the trade still, unless he is really that mentally weak. I don't know. Maybe maybe the NBA life is not working for him. Maybe it's too much pressure for him. Maybe it might be better if you went to Atlanta or something where there's zero pressure there. He might flourish there. He might not flourish. LA might not be the spot for him. It looks like that's where it's going. However,
Okay.
to put a button on this before I let you speak, sorry. This is where the team needs to bring it out of him. This is where that leadership becomes are you that guy? Because this guy's too good. He's too talented as a basketball player for this to be happening.
I'll just leave it with this when it comes to Dalton Connect, Joe, that the Lakers have a decision to extend his contract, for his full rookie contract here over the course of the next 2 Halloweens. At this point in time, do you still give him another year by the end of this month?
Well, it's not like contract. It's not like the contract couldn't be traded. I don't really think. I would pick it up just because it's not that much money, anyways. He could be put into a package for a deal. It's not a lot of money, so I wouldn't say it would be it wouldn't be good, or it wouldn't be bad if they picked it up. It's what, $4 million?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think they pick it up, and it's worth giving it a try. This guy was a near lottery pick for you, and it's a guy that can actually score. You gotta let this maybe play out a little bit more.
Okay.
Got to let it play out a little bit more. It's just too much invested in some. There's too much invested, and if there's a deal you could package him in and you get something with value, and then that's fine. But it's just you gotta let this play out a little bit longer, in my view.
So with that, again, another, I guess, performance check on that for today. Very disappointing indeed. But how much do you take away from today's game, seeing that it's just the first preseason game? Because everybody's saying this is the worst. JJ is the worst. Everybody's the worst. It's terrible. It's disappointing. But how much do you take away from the first preseason game without 4 of your rotation players and your 2 top players?
It's not that. It's not about that. I'm not disappointed that half the team didn't play. That's fine. There's still bad habits that are there that have been there for a long time. Every game is a blowout with these guys when they lose. Like there's no urgency with these guys. There's no mentality up and down that roster. So the instincts have been screaming since the interview he did in the summer, JJ Redick. When I heard rotation player Bronny James, everything stopped. It was like the screeching of the record. I did not expect that. I did not expect that kind of an answer. I said, "What? Did you just say what I think you said? Rotational player? Are you fucking kidding me? This guy shouldn't even be in the NBA. You want to put him in the rotation? For what?" He will get eaten, spit out, and eaten again in real NBA games. What are they trying to prove here? What are they doing? LeBron James is not Kobe Bryant. He's not Magic Johnson when it comes to the Lakers. You want to pay homage to LeBron James by using his kid? This is the shit that pisses people off. This is why LeBron is polarizing. This shit should not be happening. I'm sorry. This is not kindergarten. This is not a weekend retreat where everybody gets a chance to play. This is professional basketball at the highest level, and you're talking about the #1 team on the planet ever in the LA Lakers. So pardon me if I'm insulted when I see this third, fourth-rate shit going on. The heat's coming. The heat's coming.
Well, it is coming, and it's coming soon, but we will see what happens again. I know that both LeBron and Luka will be out for Sunday's game at the Chase Center against Golden State. So, guys, you'll see more of this rotation. I don't know yet about Gabe Vincent, Maxi Kleber, and,
I know.
of course, Marcus Smart, but they'll probably be held out as well. Yes, they'll probably be held out.
About as useful as a toe hitch up your ass at this point with Kleber and Vincent. I mean, shit. Gabe Vincent, what the fuck does that guy do all day? Seriously, what is his worth? What does he do all day? First preseason game, he's not playing. Out of all the people that's not available, this asshole's been taking a vacation for 2 years. What happened now? What? Did he twist his back a little bit, getting out of a chair? Like what exactly is this guy's worth? There's no pressure to these guys. There's no anything. I can't even. I think I said this on a show a few months back or a few weeks back. Phil Jackson was all over Rick Fox in 2000 when his kid was being born. He understood. You got to go see the kid be born. It's a special moment. But the second it happened, Phil was like, get your ass back here now. We have playoff games. I'm used to that kind of mentality, man. And this is going to come off insensitive and inconsiderate. I don't give a shit. When I heard the first time that men take paternity leaves, I'm sorry. My first instinct was it just spoke of beta all over the place. I have kids. Okay. I was there for their birth. I hung out with my kids, but I went to work the next day. And you know what happened that day? I got home and I saw my kid. You know what happened the next day? I got home from work and I saw my kid. What exactly do you want me to do when the kid is sleeping 16 hours a day? You want me to just sit there and act like I'm going to have a breast waiting for the kid? Like, what exactly do men do when they take the paternity leave? So it's like everything is just, I'm telling you, man, I'm Clint Eastwood in Gran Torino. Everything is stupid and weak. And it just keeps adding. It just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Gabe Vincent, this asshole got free money for almost 3 years now. And he's not even available after being off, 6 months? Fuck him. Seriously, I'm so fucking tired of these fucking bums.
It is a little bit of both in regards to Gabe Vincent, tough in regards to the fact that, yeah, he was held out, but he has been a participant in Lakers training camp. I know that Maxi Kleber, I guess, did get an owie on his calf, if I remember correctly. Or it's quad. His quad.
Yeah,
his quad.
There should be a glue factory built next to El Segundo, and there's 3 players right now that I would send over there right now, and Kleber is one, and Vincent is the other.
Okay.
I mean, that's it. This is a mockery of mockeries. Guaranteed contracts is one of the worst things sports ever did. And the only reason why that happened is because the stupid ass owners were greedy. If the stupid ass owners weren't greedy, we would have never had to have dealt with any of this. Guaranteed money. For what? No. The heat's coming. The heat is coming.
Your guy LeBron. Let me just ask you this with LeBron. All jokes aside, with the tingling glute, it was mentioned that they would be ramping him up slowly in his age 41 season. I don't expect him to see him playing much in the preseason, but right now he's still targeted for opening day, Joe.
No. LeBron is a completely different story. LeBron has put in 10 times more work than he had to. That's a completely different story. If LeBron didn't play a stitch of anything in the summer and in the preseason, I don't think anyone should say anything. That guy's put enough. He's put enough. Way enough. So LeBron not being available, LeBron being cautious, LeBron having a glute issue, whatever it is, the hell that means. That doesn't mean that I'm not in any way dogging that. LeBron has put in more time than anyone can imagine. So get healthy, be ready, and we've said this on this show for a few weeks now. That guy cannot exceed 32 minutes a game this year. If he does on a consistent basis, he will blow a tire this time. And if he doesn't, he'll still be tired at the end of the year. Those mistakes he made at the end of games, that's from being tired. Fatigue makes cowards of us all. He is tired. JJ Redick, you hear this? You hear this, Mr. Tough Guy on the mic? You always know someone is not doing too well when you see their hair a little too long. I noticed that with JJ tonight. His hair was a little more poofy than normal. That means he wasn't slicking it like he normally does. A lot on his mind, right? A lot of stress. LeBron cannot exceed 32 minutes this year. If you do, you are fucked.
Let me ask you this on Austin Reeves, who was, in my opinion, the only impressive player tonight outside of RJ Davis. Great for the kid that got 14 points off the bench. I don't know if it's good. He's going to have more games like that in order to go ahead, at least to get a two-way, or at least be able to go ahead and find some time on this team. But I'm rooting for the kid, and because he was the only rookie to get consistent minutes in Summer League, guard out of North Carolina. I know I've had to repeat that like 5 times during the course of the game and now afterwards. But you know what? I'm rooting for the kid because, like I said, undrafted kid out of North Carolina, just trying to make the show. So let's hope it works out for him. I did want to mention the only other impressive guy in 20-odd minutes was Austin Reeves. Coming in, he was talked about by JJ about being in top shape, about what kind of effort he was putting in this summer as far as to try and get his body going. We've discussed this about the financial motivation that's involved for him. He can opt out of his contract at the end of the season and become a free agent. So it is imperative for him to look good on a big stage. Your thoughts on Austin Reeves and what he can do for this team after what you saw tonight as a third playmaker, as the number 3 guy coming right now for the team. If DeAndre Ayton or Rui Hashimura don't play up to the level that the Lakers need, what can Austin give this team like he has been doing?
Well, he's going to do what he's been doing. His point per game has gone up every year since he's been in the NBA. That's great, which means he's probably going to go to what, 22 from 20? Sure, okay. The issue isn't, I'm not worried about Austin Reeves. Austin Reeves is going to come to play and he'll be fine. Our issue with Austin Reeves is prime time. He gets exploited when it matters. He still plays hard. He still has some value. Didn't do too bad in the last, even though they got blown out in 5. That in the end, it was just they couldn't close the door, right? They couldn't close the door in some of those games. They could have been, it very well could have been 3-1 Lakers if the couple plays went their way versus them being down 3-1. But my assessment will continue to be that Austin Reeves' best asset is to come off the bench as the 6th man on a title team. If he's doing that, he is hugely valuable. He's going to spend
for seasons now.
He's going to spend 15 to 20 minutes a game against the second units of the opposing team. He will cook those guys half the game. That is the advantage. You want to always, what is the point and what is the goal of any leader, any coach, any decision maker? I mean, they wrote books on this, didn't they? Art of War, Sun Tzu, right? Always have the advantage. Always put yourself in a place where you are at an advantage. Put the right player in the right setup so that that player is better than the opposing player. There's nothing better than putting Austin Reeves at the beginning of the second quarter and the beginning of the fourth quarter against the bench of the opposing team. He'll cook them. Confidence goes up. You don't have to worry about leads being relinquished. So much little things. He can play in prime time too. He can play at the end of games to close out. I'm not saying he's not going to do that, but look at what Lamar Odom did between 2008 and 2011. For those of you who watched what that man did, first of all, one of the most unselfish, but no one, even as bad as Lamar was mentally and some of the things that had gone on, it was like, it's impossible to hate Lamar Odom. He's too good of a man. He's too nice of a man and too just accommodating of a human being to ever not like him. Lamar Odom took a bench role during the heyday of that run. And if he doesn't do that, it doesn't work. He did it and it worked flawlessly. And he was in a lot of those games at the end of the games too. And I'm talking about dunking on Birdman in crucial Game 5 games. I mean, when he dunked over Birdman and Luke Walton came and headbutted him in the back, I about ran through a wall. It's funny saying that too, because I literally hit a wall one time when Robert Horry hit a game winner in Portland. Literally hit the popcorn ceiling, jumped so high, I scraped my skull. Didn't know about it because I was so adrenaline filled until the next day my head was itching. I was like, what the hell? Why is my head itching? Go and look in the mirror. I'm bleeding.
Come on, Joe. You got to be careful, bro.
You know, competition, your team, guys who you love to watch play and they're coming through. That's unfortunately, a lot of you guys haven't seen that. All you guys have seen is shit since I've been on the podcast, since I've been on LFB. But man, when the Lakers were on point, man, I was talking shit the other way. Like people hated me. I'm like, what are you gonna do? What? Kobe's gonna dunk all over you, and then Paul Gasol's gonna drop step, dunk, drop step, hook. He'll hit the 15-footer. Hell, he'll throw a 3-pointer every now and then. What are you gonna do? Yes, you couldn't stop that team. So I think that's probably where my angst is. I miss that feeling and that dialogue so much because all I do with the Lakers now, especially the last 4 years, is it's exhausting apologizing for how stupid they are most of the time. Not being able to inbound a ball. Really? That's like catching a fly. It's like catching a fly ball. You should be able to throw the ball in. And then, just decision making already from things that should not be decided. I mean, it's not looking good even out of one preseason game.
John,
so we'll see. We'll see if they continue it when it matters. We'll see.
But Joe, I was talking to Gerald before you got on. I don't know if you were listening, but I just feel like
I tried, but God freaking did. Every 2 minutes is a commercial. You guys are in a discussion, and I'm trying to pay attention, and you're like, and so then he went, I'm like, what the fuck? And now I don't know what he's gonna say.
I hear you, brother.
Seriously, YouTube is a fucking disaster, man, with that shit. Every 3-4 minutes, they keep sending dude, can you put it in 15-minute increments at least? Every 2-3 minutes, I gotta freaking see an ad while you guys are talking. Now I'm missing what you're talking.
YouTube, come on, YouTube.
That's this horribly done.
I'll make sure the comments get up to the head of YouTube. All right, Joe.
They're near you, John. I drove by their office in San Francisco, so they're near you. I know they are.
So I'll be up there. I'll be like, damn it, you better not interrupt Joe Soro from listening about the Lakers. Okay, anyway, Joe, what I was gonna say was this. Yes, it was sloppy. The defense was bad. I mean, it was breaks and all of that. But I feel like not only is it preseason, and I'm not saying like, oh, like fuck it, if we win or lose, it is what it is. But what I am saying is like the takeaways, right? So it's like the takeaways from Austin Reeves. We saw him. We knew he was this scoring machine. But one thing that I really like from him is that I like his decision making that he was making, like just as a primary ball handler, right? I don't feel like he was forcing as much. DeAndre Ayton protecting the rim, helping clean the glass. Jake LaRavia, like the energy. So in your mind, from the snippet I've heard you speak, it sounds like it's like all bad. Like it sounds like we're like 70 games in the season and we're still playing like this. This is the first game of the preseason, first game of 6 of the preseason, and there's some takeaways from some of these players. Like where's your mind on that? Because it looks like you're just completely like, oh fuck, they're playing like ass and the defense is terrible. I just don't think it's yet time to be on that type of time, right? Like, do you have any positive takeaways from this besides Austin Reeves? You're on mute.
Yeah, the positive is I like DeAndre Ayton's commitment to defense.
Okay,
Reeves played well.
Which
Rui
he
would have
talked about after the game. By the way, he did talk about, quote, I wanted to show the team I'm more committed on the defensive end more than the offense, and we saw that today, Joe.
There we go.
Rui played well until he started missing his layups. My issue is body language. My issue is trying to do something that has nothing to do with winning.
So then Dalton connects. Then you hate Dalton Connect.
So Dalton Connect.
Terrible.
When you were gone,
uh-huh.
I mentioned there's an investment in Dalton Connect that's different than anyone else. This guy was a near lottery pick, and he's only been playing a year and change. You gotta play that out a little bit more. Anything else? There's nothing invested in Marcus Smart. Marcus Smart is a hope for us that he can come through. But if he doesn't, I'm not going to sit here and go nuts on Marcus Smart. They didn't send anything for him. This is a freebie. If it works out, hell yeah. If it doesn't, hey, his body's not letting him move anymore. That happens. Kleber's finished. Gabe Vincent is finished. Jackson Hayes is limited. He's going to be a benefit as a backup during the regular season. He'll be non-existent when it matters in the playoffs. I don't think anything's going to change from that. You have Jared Vanderbilt, who is useful for about 30 games a year if you're lucky, and useless after that. So what else? Laravia, still too early to know what that guy's going to do. I saw a lot of effort. I saw some good basketball IQ with him passing the ball and trying to get guys involved a little bit. I wasn't actually expecting it. I thought he was going to just head to the corners and start shooting threes, but I thought he was putting in some effort in following the offense a little bit. Dalton Connect
might be gone.
I would say you give him until the deadline.
Yeah.
Give him until the deadline. If he can't get out of whatever the hell this is, then you package him and try to get something for him this time.
And another thing I had mentioned, Joe, around Dalton Connect is not only the defense is bad, but and I don't know if you guys also see this, but when I see him on the offensive end, bro just looks confused sometimes. Like he doesn't look like he knows where he's supposed to be. And a lot of times like that will just ruin the flow of the offense. So again, like Dalton Connect's hanging hat last season was, you're this rookie, you're this young shooter, but I don't know, man. Like the body language really pissed me off.
He might not work out with the LA thing. Again, you were gone when I said this. He might be better off somewhere in Atlanta, Charlotte, where there's no pressure.
Yep.
And he can just go and play ball and not have to worry about people like us on his neck. No one in Charlotte gives a shit about whether Dalton Connect plays well or not. No one gives a shit in Atlanta whether Dalton Connect plays well or not.
Honestly, probably a curse for his career to not go to Charlotte. He probably should have ended up in Charlotte for his own career.
Maybe he'll get lucky. He'll go to the Pacers. I don't know.
I'd love it.
I did want to mention Duke Thiero is still up. John, welcome. Please like and subscribe. Thank you for being here. Duke Thiero, the Lakers' second-round draft pick, is still not been cleared for 5-on-5. His knee is still, I guess, as of earlier this week, was still swollen. So they're measuring that. I think they said they were going to give it a week before they'll evaluate it further. But he has been out with the knee issue throughout the entire summer. So concerned that he will be behind the 8 ball, for lack of a better term, John, because of Duke Thiero. Are you a rookie and you didn't get any time in summer league, and you may not have any time during the exhibition season or training camp? I don't think you can expect much of him, at least the first half of the season, unless he gets some time in the G League or whatnot. He gets some burn there, but I don't think anybody out there should be expecting anything from Duke Thiero unless he starts getting some playing time in the exhibition season real soon.
Yeah, honestly, I don't think we should expect about anything from him. I mean, I love what Joe said earlier with like Marcus Smarts, where it's like if we don't get what we were expecting, I'm not going to be sitting here like, oh my God, we didn't get what we were expecting with a Duke Thiero. But if we do, dope. That's icing on that. That's icing on the cake. But being that the man has literally never played a possession in the NBA, and his first possession might be in the regular season. Yeah, it's not one for us to be very hopeful on. But he is a major athlete, though. He looks like one of them big old DBs, to be honest with you.
But if his knee's already hurting coming into the league, that's not encouraging, John.
Not encouraging at all. Which what I'm saying, like even coming off injury, even if he wasn't coming off injury, even if the man was on some protocol or something like that, and then just came and played his first game in the league in the regular season, that's frightening, Gerald. He's gonna get ate up. He's gonna get ate up. Like not even have one possession in summer league, not one possession in preseason. Duke Thiero, he's going to have to heavily rely on his athleticism, but I hope that we don't have to rely on him. I know
old school football says Jordan Goodwin and Dorian Finney-Smith are better than our entire bench. Dorian Finney-Smith is solid, but unspectacular on the offensive end. Really could never evolve beyond a 10-point-a-game player, but pretty solid on the defensive end. Was the Lakers' top defender last season. And then also you had Jordan Goodwin. John, I think Joe's going to go ahead and be right back. So let me go ahead and get him off there on screen. Your thoughts is Jordan Goodwin, who was waived in order for the Lakers to go ahead, I believe, to pick up Marcus Smart, and then also as well DFS. Do you think they're really going to be hurting as far as the bench is concerned? They were on what was considered one of the worst benches in the NBA last season. Those were two of your primary players last season on one of the worst benches in the NBA. So I don't know how much worse it can get, but apparently when Old School says Goodwin and DFS are better than the entire bench, and our bench was one of the worst in the NBA, it tells me that he doesn't think that the bench is going to get much better this season.
I honestly, brother, he's not far off. He's not far off with that comment. I'll be honest, Jared, because our bench is bad. I'll be honest with you, which is even more reason why Austin Reeves should look to come off the bench, right? Like even more reason why he should look to be the leader of that bench unit, because we have a leader in the starting unit, and then also he doesn't even necessarily fit on the offensive end. I mean, sorry, on the backcourt defensive end wise, being next to Luka, Marcus Smart fits there more when we're talking just like fit wise and defensive needs. Marcus Smart fits there better. Might as well put him there and give Austin Reeves like that little like umph to be with the second unit. Because right now our bench is hideous. I mean, Gerald, we were relying on.
I think that's the best word you said right there. Hideous.
We're relying on RJ Davis to, give us consistent offense off the bench.
And he might not even make the team.
Right?
He might not even make the team.
You're right. And again, take everything I'm saying with a grain of salt. It's first game of the preseason, but might not even make the team. And we were relying on him to be our leading guy off the bench. He actually led us this game with points off the bench.
Speaking of hideous, Black says, "What up, John?"
Hey, where's he at? I don't see him.
He's right there in the comments.
Oh, there he is. What
Start off with an insult on you right
Block,
away.
Hey, Block, you can't misspell my name, bro. Come on, it's John. Even though I always mispronounce his name.
But it is 103-81. The Lakers lose their first preseason game. Remember, Sunday night, that's when we'll be back on, because we'll have it on playback.tv/Lakers Fast Break. It's 5:30 p.m. U.S. Pacific time. It'll be the Lakers at Golden State at the Chase Center. So go ahead and check it out with us on playback.tv/Lakers Fast Break. And then after the game, we'll be on, of course, talking right here at the world famous Lakers Fast Break post-game show. But again, not that great of a performance. Not too many great positive things we could take away from it. I mean, Austin, you could take RJ Davis, could take a little bit of defense from at times Jared Vanderbilt in the first half, and at times DeAndre Ayton as well. But man, not many positives. Not the way you really want to start. Even if it's a loss, if it's a close loss and you saw effort and you saw things, because you don't expect the Lakers to win when you don't have Luka and LeBron in the lineup. I get that. I understand that. But I think we could have seen guys, because they're competing for minutes. They're competing for rotation spots. In some cases, like RJ Davis, he is competing as hard as he can for a spot on the team or as a two-way. So I ask you, my friend, I didn't see much of that effort from anyone else. I didn't see much of that heart from anyone else. And it really was disappointing to see, because, again, so much is on the line for so many of these guys.
And they're acting like it's not, Gerald. They're acting like they got their spot secure, Gerald, which is the craziest thing of all. It's the craziest thing of all, right? It's crazy that, because honestly, RJ, like, you saw he was out there playing for his spot. Like, he was getting to it every single time. And again, a player that might be cut versus, like, I think it's pretty clear Bronny won't be cut. Pretty clear that Dalton won't be cut. I mean, or whatnot. And those guys aren't coming with any type of energy. Gerald, it's looking very grim. I'll be honest with you. I knew we were not contenders. I mean, you want to watch my season preview? Please, somebody go. Please, y'all do go watch my season preview. Worked real hard on that. But I said we're not championship contenders, but we're not going to be an easy out, right? But man, I tell you what, Gerald, I've been watching basketball for a long time, and the good teams are, and the ones that go far, even the ones that are even near championship contenders, they always have at least above average bench. Gerald, we have a worser bench than what we had last season, and last season we had the worst bench in the league. Gerald, it might be time not might be, it's been time for us to figure something out. Whether it's Dalton, whether it's whoever, we're gonna have to do something because there's no way we can go into the playoffs with this bench.
I'll just say this. They didn't have the worst, John, because Tibbs didn't play the bench in New York.
So by a pity, basically, we didn't have the worst.
By default, they're not the worst, or were not the worst last season, but damn near close. And with Moravia and Smart, they're supposed to see a marked improvement on the bench. And I know Joe and I have talked about for a couple seasons now about Austin Reeves' best fit would be coming off the bench, and Joe described it in detail about all the advantages that would be as far as for Austin in his game. But if you're advising Austin, you want no part of that conversation if JJ comes to you and asks you to come off the bench in a potentially contract year, John. Because as we see with Naz Reid is one of the most well-paid bench players, or intended to be bench players. It's not like Jeremy Grant, who has been dismal since he got that big paycheck, and now he's going to probably be coming off the bench. But someone who was a bench player, who was intended to be a bench player, probably got the high end of the contract, and what that's about $27 million a year. It is substantially less than what Austin Reeves, if he has a season like he thinks he's going to have, and like we may think he's going to have, what he will be asking for this upcoming season. I don't know if he's worth it. I know I talked to Richard in the comments about that, but yeah, it is going to be very interesting to see how much he would want to get paid if he stays a starter on the Lakers, John.
Man, and the thing is, like, I'm really hoping that Austin, because yes, like logically, everything that you said, 100%. Like, if he's just worrying about his money and worrying about what he got going on, yes, for sure. But I'm really hoping Austin is with the mindset of like, what's gonna be better for the team, right? And I know he's already kind of did that, but I'm gonna be honest, like Joe's point earlier, he was talking about Austin coming off the bench, and he brought like Lamar Odom and whatnot up. There's been a lot of players in the NBA that
Mono Ginobili, I get it, I understand. But you have to tell that to these guys because it's really hard for them to fathom it. Because in the case I said with Rui and with Austin, if they have a good season, John, and they both become free agents, Rui, it's automatic. With Austin, he has to opt out of his last year, but if he has a good season, he'll do that. With them, they at their age, because they're in their late 20s, they will only get one chance to get generational wealth.
For sure.
Multi-year contract, at a high rate for, let's say, Rui, 3 years, maybe 15 to 20 million a year, maybe even a little bit more if he has a really good season. And with Austin, we talked about, if he's going to ask for $35, $40 million a year, whatever he's going to ask for, this might be the only chance for them to get generational money. And while again, for us, it's all about winning. And for us, it's all about, what we want to see them do to get the best Lakers product out there. If you're in their position and you see that on the horizon, does that not make your decision-making at least some of it based on that?
No, for sure. Like it does. And again, I'm not saying that it doesn't. I think it,
because these are not guys that are going to, like, they're in their early to mid 20s looking to get the max on their contract, and they've got another max contract after it, John. Those two might only have one opportunity to get really
100%.
paid.
100%. No, I totally understand that, but I'm just saying it's in the sense of like, I've seen Austin, and from what I've seen Austin, he more than anyone else that I have seen in the league or whatnot. I would believe that if someone would do it, it's going to be him. Like if someone would do it, it's going to be him. Do I think he's going to do it? I don't think so. But my original point that I was originally trying to get at was this: there's been many players like the Manu Ginobili's, like the Lamars, freaking even James Harden, like even in a way when it was Thabo Sefolosha was there and James Harden we just kept like he was winning six man and just like dominating as a six man. A lot of the times those guys would go out and like they'd finish games, they'd play starter minutes, but they'd be in that six man position. But what
did Harden do?
Harden
wanted to go.
He wanted to
get
go,
paid.
No, for sure.
He wanted to be a starter.
I understand that. I understand that. But what I'm saying here is, in a lot of these guys' career, going to that six-man role literally made their career. Like it for James Harden.
I'm not disagreeing with you.
I understand.
You need to have this conversation with him, not me.
100%, Gerald. But I'm just being the devil's advocate. Like you're giving me one side of it, which I agree with, right? But I'm giving you the other side of it that it's like, look, dog.
And I'm agreeing with you 100% on your side. I would love to have him as the six man.
100%. But what I'm saying
again, in today's NBA, six men don't get paid.
100%, Gerald. But I'm saying you gotta have this tough conversation. Hey, I just recently got into a new role here at Zoom, and one thing I've learned is that, man, you want to be successful, you gotta have these tough conversations. You gotta ask the tough questions, and it's gonna be a tough conversation with Austin Reeves, and it may cause some locker room drift, but it has to be done for the greater good. And the greater good is not Austin Reeves' pocket. The greater good is winning. So it has to be done. Again, whether Austin likes it or not, I think it has to be done. And that's my take. And again, I would even pitch it to Austin as like, yo, this not only is better for the team, but this could even be better for your career, to be honest with you. And it's a stretch. It's a stretch because he's looking at money. He's looking at dollar signs. He's like, how is this better for my career? But it's like, carve yourself out a role in this league where you're just the sixth man. Regardless of where you go, you're going to get paid. Lou Will, Manu Ginobili, James Harden built, again, early in his career, built his reputation on being that sixth man, and then wanted to go get paid, which I don't blame him. He took off.
But he wanted to go get paid.
For sure. But I just gave you three examples of players that their career was set on just becoming that sixth man. And they forever.
I don't know if the James Harden one really gets you.
The James Harden one, but the Lou Will does, the Lamar Odom does, and the Manu Ginobili one.
But did Lou Williams ever come close to getting a real huge paycheck in the league?
No, but to my point though, Gerald, he kept getting picked up because.
I agree with you. He should be a sixth man on the team. Joe agrees with you. He should be a sixth man on the team. The problem is you convincing him nearing a payday to be a six man on the team.
I hear
how
you,
much
Gerald.
difference that will be. That's the question. That's the thing that Rob and JJ have to ask him and have to go ahead and sit down and have that tough conversation.
Gerald, the tough conversation. You got to have the tough conversation, and from there, you got to let them know, hey, this is what's better for the team. And to be honest with you, I think this might be able to benefit your career, because instead of you just getting one big bag, how about you keep getting bags until you retire, because you've now built yourself a reputation in this league. You're reliable, suitable six man.
Best, you're incorrect on that. He said you would not risk losing Austin Reeves' value by benching him. Yeah, actually, in this league right now in 2025, you do. Bench players do not get what starter gets on starter money. It's right there. I don't think you just have to look. It's a matter of dollars and cents, and there is a difference in this league about paying a guy coming off the bench and then paying a starter. But again, I would rather see him as a bench guy, but we'll see if that conversation does happen. But Joe, coming back in here now, again, Sunday against Golden State, Luka and LeBron will again not be in the lineup. I don't know if Gabe with his Howie or, just being careful with him. Maxey with his owie, with his quad, Marcus Smart with his tendonitis in his Achilles or tendinopathy, whatever they want to call it. Again, they got to start getting these guys out there and getting some burn and getting some real reps out there. Otherwise, it could be a little while into the season before we finally see what team we really got.
Yeah, this is the new culture. You have 6 months off, 7 months off, and you're still hurt.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I have any more to say on that. And I'm just going to be watching out to see how these rotations are set up when the real time comes. And it better be the 8 to 9 guys that should be playing according to what the roster is now.
Straight up.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, what do you think about as far as the rotation right now? Because obviously, watching tonight, everybody should have their concerns.
It's going to be the starting lineup's going to be LeBron, Luka, Rui, Austin, and DeAndre Ayton. The guys coming off the bench is going to be Jackson Hayes covering for DeAndre Ayton as the center. You're going to have LaRavia playing. You're going to have Connect playing. You're going to have Jared Vanderbilt playing. And if Gabe Vincent can remove his maxi pad long enough to play, he'll be playing in. And then I'm just waiting on the disaster that might be coming.
I want to, but before you guys go on, I wanted to give you a comment that was made by Bronny after the game on his 1 for 12 shooting night, guys. He said, "I didn't rush. I wasn't forcing anything. I didn't have my legs under me as much as I wanted to, so I left them a lot short."
I'm gonna repeat a Chuck Noll line, former 4-time Super Bowl winning head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers. 1969, he takes over the Pittsburgh Steelers. At that time, the Steelers had existed for 36 years, and they were the worst team in NFL history. 1933 to 1969, they had gone to one playoff game in that time and lost that one game, right? So Chuck Noll has a film session, and he says, "Guys, your losing has nothing to do with your attitude. You're just not good enough. You're just not good enough." Bronny's playing his ass off. He's trying to do well. I don't think you can deny that. But he's not good enough. And if you think that he's going to be good enough in the next year, 2, 3, good. Let him go to Memphis. Just like Scottie Pippen Jr. Although I do think Scottie Pippen Jr. is a better player than him. But
far better player.
But the point of that is because we thought, look, we saw Scottie. We saw Scottie Jr. play.
He was bad here when he played.
He was bad, but I remember vividly saying this. I said, if he doesn't get a jump shot, it wasn't like, oh, this guy doesn't belong in the NBA. I never thought that. I thought he's got something, but if you're going to play guard in the NBA and you want to be sustainable, you're going to have to start doing the things that you have to do as a guard. You got to start making shots, and he did.
Stop being out of control, and he just, you saw that maturity from once he left the Lakers, went to Memphis. I didn't think he was an NBA player with the Lakers. He didn't play like an NBA player with the Lakers, but by the time he went to Memphis, he found himself, and he now is a good NBA player. I don't know how much time he's going to get because they brought in Ty Jerome, which was crazy because Scottie Pippen Jr. was the best player in that first round of the playoffs, Joe. If you remember, again, when they got creamed by OKC, he was the only one putting up a fight. So I like to see how SPJ's career continues because it's again, I was wrong on that one, but I am hopeful that he has a good career ahead.
Yeah, he will. And I'm tired of mediocrity being celebrated. That's ultimately what it is.
John, do you concur on that?
For sure. The fuck? Why would we ever applaud mediocrity? Ever? I mean, I would hope we all concur on that.
Yeah, it's been a problem since that draft. It's been a problem for the reasons we've discussed on the show. That there was so much stupidness in that whole fiasco. They cared about the reality show. They cared about the story more. They cared about winning. And there's not a single human being on this planet that could prove that what I'm saying isn't right. I made it very clear what was going on at that time. And they can come back. Rich Paul can come back. Oh, yeah, there are teams that are going to draft him. No one's going to draft him. You could have had him for free. You could have had him for free. You could have drafted another player at 55. But you didn't
Ariel
do it.
Hukporti, who's in the league right now.
You didn't do it because you wanted the reality show. You made a mockery of the organization, and Jeannie made a mockery of the organization, and Rob made a mockery of the organization because they wanted to appease LeBron James. For what? You're the LA Lakers. You won 16 championships before LeBron James came to LA. This isn't Cleveland. This isn't Miami. Even Miami. Okay, they won one title in 06. Miami couldn't even sell their playoff games with LeBron in his prime when they were winning championships. This is the LA Lakers. Jeannie, in the last decade, with a couple sprinkles of good things, turned this organization into basic NBA team tendencies. I wanted to use another word in there, but I don't want to go that way. They became the here. You guys are going to like this one. They became the team. I'll use a comparison. You know how you see those people always taking pictures of their dogs, and then they take pictures at the beach with their feet up, whatever. Like the most basic, corny, just mediocre pictures you can think of. That's what they turned it to. It was stamped with the Stay Dwight Howard posters outside El Segundo or wherever the hell it was, Staples at the time. Seriously? Just corny stuff. Taking pictures of their dogs, taking pictures of being at the beach. Basic bitch stuff. I think they had a hilarious thing of hilarious bit with I always forget his name. The guy that plays Joe on Family Guy. He played the doctor. He diagnosed this one chick with basic bitch tendencies, right? She had the she had the sweatsuit with the sexy on the back and that whole, buying the box set of Friends. This basic crap. And basic is not something that should be anywhere near an iconic franchise like the LA Lakers.
But today starts a new season with us as far
Such
as
a
the Lakers
shitty way to start. I was actually excited today. I had finished dinner. A lot of us were. My phone still didn't. I've been up since 4:48 this morning. I worked until 6 the evening, and I went and had dinner and with the fam and did all that stuff, and then the phone just. I guess God gave me a break for about 45 to an hour, and all of a sudden the phone just kept going off again. When I was watching the game, half the time I was on the phone. So I was excited. I'm like, man, the Lakers, now it's time that we're going to be doing the LFB. And I was kind of excited to see Laker basketball. And then within the first, 5 minutes, they're already down 2 digits. It's like, dude, it's the same Groundhog Day bullshit. No identity, no urgency, nothing. It's the same offense bland Darvin Ham offense, JJ Redick offense. You can't blame LeBron now. You can't blame Luka. Dude, do you have any identity on this team? And then I saw JJ Redick's hair, and I knew exactly what was going on. This fool is stressed. I had never seen JJ Redick's hair that long. Never. Yeah. Pressure's starting to pressure's there right now. You can see it. Good luck. Your first test in the preseason was a massive failure. Stop putting Bronny in the rotation. I don't give a shit if it's preseason. Stop using him in the fucking rotation. You want to play him garbage time? Fine. I don't want to see that guy be the first player off the bench. I don't give a shit if 90% of the team is gone. He does not belong on an NBA roster, let alone a Laker roster. Stop playing him. LeBron's done in 9 months. You don't need to kiss his ass anymore. You just got an extension. You're going to be there longer than LeBron will be. Stop playing fucking Bronny James. He doesn't belong in the NBA. Is that stern enough?
It's pretty clear. Yeah.
I'm tired of this. I'm tired of this freaking fiasco. The guy does not belong in the NBA, and he will likely never belong in the NBA. Focus on the Laravias. Focus on the Connects. You invested in those guys. First round pick in the middle of a first round pick is a big investment in the NBA. Laravia was your only free agent, legitimate free agent this summer. That's a big investment. Focus on those guys. Stop focusing on a guy that doesn't belong here. And if his name was Jim Smith, you wouldn't even fucking sniff him, let alone look at him.
Best League says Bronny makes top 60 player money NBA, and he doesn't belong to NBA. Well, I think you're talking about the jersey sales that he got last season, where he was the top, 150. I guess, I don't know how much, that report goes wild as far as how much he earned in jersey sales, but he wasn't in the top 25, but I think he was somewhere in the top 100 for sure as far as sales.
Those jerseys were bought because of his dad.
Yeah.
LeBron James, you're not going to see a LeBron James in your lifetime ever again. You will never see another LeBron James. Those jerseys sold because of him.
And you got another guaranteed year for Bronny James, just to let you know. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. But yes, Jovan Buha, I think, alluded to that, JSJ. I heard him on one of those national podcasts, I believe, alluding to the fact that he would see them in the rotation this year. But he also said that, again, many things that I took issues with. In fact, we had a episode earlier this month, or in September, late in September, that you guys got to check out, where we kind of dispute some of the things that Jovan Buha says. Because, again, we're seeing a different product than he is right now, but we'll go ahead and keep on saying it like we see it. So that's the thing. I think, like you said, Joe, a lot of those guys in the Lakers bubble, as far as the reporters concerned, they have to be somewhat on ice because of what they can
and
say.
And that is censorship. That is inability to be credible. I don't ever in my life want anyone to ever tell me what I want to hear. I'm sorry, I said that wrong. If they're truly telling me what I want to hear, they'll tell me the truth. And that's a fact. That's a fact. There are plenty of people that see the delivery and go, fuck this guy. Believe me, I know it.
And let me just tell you this to make on the Bronny note, guys. I'm in one of my other tabs because I'm going to send a message to someone on LinkedIn, for hopefully a future episode of the Lakers Fast Break to come on in an interview. And the first thing that pops up on LinkedIn was something that Dean Simon, who does write about and covers the NBA. You know what he wrote it on, Joe? New York Knicks reserve center Ariel Hook-Porty made a statement in the New York Knicks 99-84 preseason victory against the 76ers on Thursday. Knicks fans, did the athletic young big create enough buzz to warrant significant promotion and time this season? That's the conversation that we have, or that they have, Joe, for the guy that got picked after Bronny James. I told you, Joe, I would keep an eye on any undrafted or the 2 or 3 picks that were made after Bronny James. And this guy might be that guy. This guy might be the one as a 7-footer, agile 7-footer, Joe, because, God forbid we would have another agile 7-footer running around our team to go ahead and be able to provide some beef inside. But if he becomes anything in this league, I'm going to let, and I know you're going to let, the Lakers know about what they missed.
Sure. And maybe we'll forgive and forget because there's going to be new leadership soon. Not soon enough, unfortunately. The Nikola Jokic career should have put that to bed. Nikola Jokic is a 3-time MVP picked in the second round. And you needed talent. You've always needed talent. You had control over a couple areas of talent, and you still went against it. That is, I said it, and it's very clear, and there's not a single human on the planet can argue against it. It doesn't matter who. Even his own dad couldn't argue against it in support of his son. You could have had Bronny James for free 30 minutes after the draft, maybe less than that. 30 minutes after the 55th pick, I should say. You could have gotten another guy at 55 and he had a better chance at having talent that you could evaluate, put on the team. But you didn't. You sacrificed possible talent for no reason. Bronny became an all-star. It doesn't matter. You could have had him without drafting him at 55. That told me everything that day. And they're still running with this fucking thing. The first preseason game of this season, and I got to see him come off the bench first? Seriously? So it's not. This is going to be a discussion probably until this is over. Because I got to hear about jersey sales. I don't give a fuck about jersey sales, people. I don't give a fuck about these guys and what they're paying. I'm there to watch them win. I'm not paying money to my cable or satellite company or going to a game to go worry about what fucking Jeannie Buss is spending money on or what money she's bringing in. I care about fucking winning. You want to be all about business? Go sell T-shirts then. You got plenty of money to go invest in a T-shirt company. Go make the best T-shirts on the planet. I want championships. 6 isn't enough. Sorry. Not now that the Celtics are 1 up again. Until they get to 19, I won't be satisfied.
But Joe, that's the latest obsession.
Yeah,
according to the T-shirts that Rob put out earlier this week.
That's cute. More Stayed the White posters, just in a different form. Goofy people. Goofy people are an interesting breed. I'll be in a line at the store and they'll say, you'll see some conversation and you'll hear the corny jokes. You'll just be at a stoplight and you'll just kind of look over and see the person in the in the driver's seat wearing a mask with the windows up, and you're just sitting there going,
Those are the funniest.
this is I think God put me on this planet to be an observer, to be an identifier. Well, problem solver more than anything, but that's part of it. That's the beginning of it, right? Observing, identifying, and then solving the problem. Now, solving the problem for those type of people it wouldn't be legal on my end. So I can't really do that, but plus not ethical and not Christian-like, if you will. But as an observer and identifier, I've said this a few times. I'm able to stay away where I don't belong, and I think that's the key in life: is to make sure you know where not to be. If you can figure that out in life, I think you're going to live a pretty damn good life. But most people can't. Most people are like moths. They got to go to that flame. They can't help it. And I didn't want to get too philosophical on all this, but again, I was trying to use a comparison. But this thing with LeBron James, this is the things that fester. This is the thing that burned out Dan Gilbert. This is the shit that pissed off Pat Riley. This isn't just a Laker thing. LeBron James and his aura creates this everywhere he goes. The Lakers just got the shittier end of it. I would rather have dealt with LeBron having cookies on a plane. I thought that was kind of stupid. I mean, let the guy have a cookie, for God's sakes. He looks like
the guy have a fucking cookie.
Yeah, the guy looks like an Adonis. The guy runs like a deer. Okay, what the?
Let the man have a
really? You don't want to like no cookies on a plane? Come on, Pat. That's a little.
Joe,
too
you would have said something. You'd have walked in.
I would have said, "Look, Pat, I love you. You're the Godfather, but fuck, really? You're gonna let this guy
leave over a cookie?
This guy. This isn't Oliver Miller, man. This is LeBron effing James, man. This guy is built. This guy could play tight end in the NFL right now. Like,
let the man have a cookie.
Let him have a cookie, dude. What, you're worried about Shane Battier eating cookies on the plane too? Shane was in good shape. D Wade was in good shape. Bosh, has he ever not looked like Chris Bosh? Have you guys seen pictures of Chris Bosh when he was 12? He looks exactly the same.
Just that skinny little.
He's skinny and shorter, but it's still Chris Bosh. Like, I think Chris Bosh came out a dinosaur.
I don't doubt it.
So I'm trying to put common sense in all of these things. Common sense is a beautiful language to understand. So many people don't understand it because they let their feelings get in the way. And they're worried about making people uncomfortable, and then they're uncomfortable. Well, I would highly recommend you be uncomfortable. Being uncomfortable is what conditions you. You think I want to be a dick all day? I don't. I want to be nice. I want to compliment people every day, but you're not giving me a reason to half the day. You're coming out of the parking spot and you don't even look to the right. Oh. I'm watching the lady. She didn't even look to the right. I could have been a semi-truck coming 50 miles an hour. She would have been dead. What are you doing? Like, where's your brain when you're driving? Look. So, as a coach, as a executive running a basketball team, you're telling me these guys, when they're at home taking their selfies with their fucking dogs and taking pictures of the beach while they're sitting there jerking off, like, you're telling me by themselves in private in their own thoughts, they don't know what I'm telling you? Of course they fucking know, but they don't want to get uncomfortable. Be uncomfortable. When you're uncomfortable, you get conditioned to do the things that will work more often than not.
You grow.
You grow. the demand for excellence grows, and everyone around you knows, hey, if you're going to go over there, you better have your shit together. Because if you don't, he's going to pounce. And I'm not talking about behind your back. I'm an eye contact guy. I look you dead in the eye when I talk to you. Doesn't matter what it is. Yeah, I'm like this.
Man,
I'll look at that guy over there.
That's like Tracy McGrady looking at you in the eye.
No, Tracy's goes outside. Mine, I can only do the inside one. I can only do my Zeus. My Zeus. I used to call it the Zeus thing when I could do one of this, the one inside. Anyways, horrible preseason game.
Yes.
Totally dashed my evening. I had a pretty damn good day, which, I have a good day pretty much every day, but today was epic. It was just balls to the wall.
Why?
I wanted to come home after a nice dinner, even had some dessert. The kids wanted to go get yogurt. Cool. Had some yogurt with some peanut M&Ms in there. Had a nice little. I had some spicy sushi for dinner, so I kind of coated the stomach with some cold yogurt. And I'm like, yeah, let's watch some Laker basketball. And then, of course, the first thing I see after the 5-minute mark, I see LeBron James come as the first guy off the bench, and I'm just like, fuck. And then everything went.
Prophecies come true, Joe. And we'll just leave it at that.
We knew it was going to happen.
But
we
Joe,
talked about it.
You know what didn't go like this, though? Your day. Because guess what? You're still here.
It's not. I'm. My days are. I'm okay. I'm not. It's not about me. I'm talking about the team now.
Okay. All right. Fuck
I don't have bad days.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have bad days. It's not in the vocabulary. It's not in the books. I have control over my days very, very much. And maybe that's where the irritation is on this. I don't have control over what the Dumpskis with the LA Lakers are doing, or when the Dodgers are not doing things that I want them to do, obviously. But it's tied to the same thing. It's about focus and winning. And I've gotten used to excellence with those teams, so I'm a little harder on those teams because of it. I'm harder on anything that's mediocre, anyways. That shouldn't be mediocre. If I was a New Orleans Pelican fan, I don't think I'd have this kind of, I guess,
I'd hate
intensity. I'm like, let's hope they can make something together. These guys are not really that type of team. So, but this is the LA Lakers, man. I mean, I got lucky in terms of Pops, God rest his soul. He picked the Steelers in the 70s when he came to this country. They were the team of the decade at that time. And then that short stint in the suburbs of LA, became a Laker and Dodger fan when I was 2 years old. And that's kind of how the story was written. I didn't write this. I was born. I was sort of I grew up in it. I grew up with, I was, by geographical reasons, by coincidence, this is my path to my favorite teams: the Steelers, the Lakers, and the Dodgers. And man, did I get lucky, especially in the 21st century. I've seen 10 world championships between those three teams, multiple championships from each. I can die today and say, I'm sorry, I shouldn't say that. It's too morbid.
Yeah, that's the kind of.
I could see no more championships from those three teams and still have lived a pretty full life as a fan of those teams, right? I mean, if I'm going to sit here and preach common sense, that's a pretty big one. But I can't just be satisfied either way. You know, what did Brady say? Tom Brady, what's your favorite Super Bowl, Tom? He's like,
the next one.
The next one.
That's a fucking legendary answer.
That. So I saw Jordan, Tom Brady, Kobe Bryant, in their primes the last 30 years. That's what I'm used to. And if it's anything below that, it's just hard to absorb.
Why accept mediocrity?
Best League is saying we must see more minutes of LeBron Bronny duo. They have chemistry, and I'm like going, no.
Chemistry with what?
We mustn't see.
Yeah, the chemistry is go clean your room. That's what he. That's the chemistry.
Dad and son chemistry.
Go get some palm olive and go clean that room up. That's the chemistry. Leave that at home. This is NBA basketball. We need NBA players. NBA players are. They don't. Those guys are a different beast.
Best League, if you need to see it in preseason, stop by El Segundo and make your request there, my friend, because you're not going to hear it from us because we're not going to request it. The less we see of Bronny, especially after performance like tonight, the better. And I'll leave it at that. But John, before we head on out, I want to make sure that you had time to go ahead and plug what you're doing at Lakers Corner. Joe Sorrell, the same at Joe Sorrell Experiment. So, guys, please go ahead and support these great channels we're going to be talking about here. And it all starts with you, John, at Lakers Corner.
Check me out, guys. I also have a Lakers page. I'm on YouTube. It's called Lakers Corner. Look up the Lakers Corner. I do post-game. This also streams to my channel, so I do post-game shows, but I do like 3-minute game recaps on the shorts side of things, and then I do a game recap where I get into like the film. Actually, it's usually around like a 7-8 minute game recap. I get into a little bit more of the film and talk a little bit more in depth of what I didn't talk about in 3-minute game recap. If you want to follow me on social media, I'd be greatly appreciated. I'm about to be at 5,000 followers on Instagram on Lakers Corner, so that's Lakers_corner. On Instagram and on TikTok, it is Lakers Corner 24, right? Yeah, Lakers Corner 24 on TikTok, and then on Twitter, it's just the Lakers Corner. But if you guys want to support in any way, I would appreciate you guys. But man, I'm just happy Lakers basketball is back, man. Like, guys, I know Joe doesn't express feelings very often. I know Gerald, you do, but I missed you guys, man. You know,
I missed you too, man.
Talking,
what's TikTok again? I don't remember what TikTok is. I got banned from it.
Miss talking hoops with you guys because it's like I always tell everybody, man, my girl did not want to hear all this. So glad somebody does.
That's what we're here for, my friend. I'm glad you're on TikTok. By the way, you might want to take a slice around 140 of Joe going off on a rant while you were gone. Just want to make a mention of that because, it was back to Bronny talk. And I'll leave it at that. Yes, just wanted to mention that indeed. But Joe, before I go ahead and head over to you, I wanted to give a big shout out to our awesome mods. Search, the mod father is here as well. Of course, our great mods, Xbox, Sports Baby, who swear they hate each other, but we know the real deal between those two. But okay, all right. But it was great to have you here again. All of our great mods, and of course, all three of us on this channel right now, all three of us have products from Drip Show. If you guys want some really good looking stuff, go ahead and make sure you follow at Drip Show Shop on Twitter and Instagram and ask him, how can I get great stuff like that for my holiday season? Or ask my wife to go ahead and buy it for me, or my kids or relatives or what have you, because there's some really good looking stuff. You see Kobe with the Genesis cartridge type thing. I would have never thought of that in a million years, and he dropped that to me, and it was just awesome. I was overwhelmed. Look at that detail in that pillow right there for John right there. And then of course Joe has it's soft. I
can sleep on it. I can sleep on it and probably learn more about the game.
Absolutely. Than what we saw tonight. And Joe has the picture right there in the background, and he's been given hats and also shirts as well. Does an amazing job. The quality is there. And if you want a holiday gift that's really, really going to be looking sweet for you, that's unique, and that's something that I think you really would love and that you're going to keep for a long time. Look at that. He's getting out. Yeah, there you go.
Drip Show. Shout out Drip Show. Look.
There you go. Shout out to Drip Show right there at Drip Show Shop right there for you on Facebook and Instagram. Joe, we bring it back to you, my friend, the Joe Stowell experiment on playback. Remember, he's going to be showing the games courtesy of Vari and also Xbox as well. Those guys do a great job of covering what they need to cover, with Vari doing some really good work on Joe Sorrell's playback channel. Joe Sorrell experiment, what's coming up for there as far as this weekend with the Dodgers, Joe?
Schedule has been so tight. I haven't been able to do one for about almost 2 weeks now, but I'm going to try to do something early tomorrow. I don't know yet 100%, but we will get to something this weekend. Supposed to have something tonight, but things got way too delayed, and I wasn't able to get on after the game because of LFB and just a few other things. But it's coming, and today I got word that the studio that I'm planning to put things on is now being built to the correct specifications. So it's a space that I don't own, so I have to be patient with the person who's putting it together. As soon as that thing gets done, we'll see some highly defined stuff.
You're highly defined.
Exactly, indeed.
That Joe, that could be like a commercial. Ooh, what's that? What's that? Isn't there like some like little cartoon of like some little guy that's like flexing his muscle and he's like a sailor or something like that?
Popeye.
Yeah, there we go. It looked like that.
Absolutely.
Popeye
I know you were
man.
talking about the cookie story and all
By the way,
that.
the movie Popeye with Robin Williams, they said there was more coke on that set than any movie ever.
Yeah, I've heard
made.
that as well.
Really?
I remember seeing that in the theater as a kid. I actually snuck into another movie to see that after we watched the regular movie. And I remember I forgot to tell my dad, and us kids were sitting there, and all of a sudden I see my dad walking down the aisle. You guys didn't tell me you were going to watch another film. Well, we kind of were sneaking into this one. Yeah, really couldn't tell you that, Dad.
Yeah,
Sorry.
like, keep it down, Dad.
There you go. Absolutely, it's kind of funny indeed. But Popeye's kind of slow. It's kind of a slow movie, but it was great to see Popeye played by Robin Williams for there. But you talked about the cookies deal, Joe. It reminded me of, I don't know if you ever heard Suicidal Tendencies, their first big hit, Institutionalized, where he's like, all I wanted was a Pepsi, just one Pepsi. All I wanted was a Pepsi, and he's getting just like madder and madder, and it's like going on a punk song. It was just like, all I wanted was Pepsi, just one Pepsi, and just he kept on getting mad. And I could just see somebody shouting like that with as far as a cookie. All I wanted was a cookie, just one cookie, just one cookie. But Pat Riley wouldn't give it to me. There you go.
You can't. There's discipline.
Just one cookie.
Yeah, and then you can't treat grown men like children either. There is a space there. I don't know if that story is 100% true. I guess I don't think it's something somebody made up, but if it's true, that's a blunder on Pat Riley's side. Seriously, that is. My dad, again, God rest his soul. My dad believed in discipline, right? Respect was huge. You did not disrespect in the house. But even my dad would look at Bobby Knight and go, it's too much. Like there's too much. The movie Mommy Dearest, he hated that movie. He couldn't stand that lady. He couldn't stand Faye Dunaway's character. And that was the beautiful balance of my upbringing. I had the most disciplined, heavy parents, but they had a level where they're like, it's too much. Like, we're here to make sure you're not cursing. You're not yelling at your parents. You're not being mean to your sister. You're not being an idiot to the neighbors, like that kind of stuff. But they're not sitting around yelling at you like a drill instructor for no reason. Like that was the beautiful balance of that. And that whole thing with the Pat Riley and the cookie thing, I remember hearing, I was like, is that really what happened? That can't be true. Why would you give a shit about a cookie on a plane? Like, I don't even know what that is.
I heard it's actually true. Dwayne Wade confirmed it.
Yeah, I think it's true. Yeah, you're right. It is likely true, and that's a blunder on Pat's side.
Dumb.
That can't happen, dude.
Yeah.
These are grown men, you know. So yeah,
And mind you, like that's LeBron. Like,
yeah, the moral of the story is Jimmy Johnson, former coach of the Cowboys.
Oh,
there was a famous bit, and they showed it on Football Life. But this is a story I remember hearing even back in the '90s. There was a guy that was in film session that fell asleep, and he got cut the next day. And some wise ass reporter came to him, and Jimmy Johnson's he has a degree in psychology, so he's a psychology type guy, right? He's really good at that. So a reporter was being a wise ass and said, "So Jimmy, so you just cut a guy because he fell asleep in one of your boring," I'm paraphrasing, obviously, I don't know if he actually said this, but basically kind of sounded like a little arrogance from the reporter, but in a good way. So you cut a guy who fell asleep in one of your boring film sessions. What if Troy Aikman had fell asleep in your film session? Troy Aikman, for those of you who don't know, was the star quarterback of the Cowboys. He goes, I would have went up to Troy and I'd have tapped him on the shoulder and said, Troy, wake up. We are not equal. Equality is an illusion. Troy Aikman was not equal, or the guy that got cut wasn't equal to Troy Aikman. LeBron James wanting a cookie versus, I used Oliver Miller as an example, but let's just say it's somebody that's been recent. What player will use Anthony Davis this offseason? Gained a little weight, right? I think it's different if Anthony Davis wanted a cookie this summer versus LeBron James wanting a cookie, don't you think? LeBron James has never been out of shape. It's just, I didn't think in a million years I'd be ending the show with this discussion, but it's an important one to understand because it's a good example of understanding what we're saying here. We're not inconsiderate. We do have common sense. But there's also taking it too far and trying to make something work. That's not going to work.
So with that, once again, it is the Lakers losing 103-81. Remember, for this weekend, Sunday night, we'll come back to you live after the game. Don't forget, during the game, it's playback.tv/Lakers Fast Break. And then, of course, our world-famous post-game show. I've got 2 more NBA previews.
Is Vardy just posting shit just to troll at this point?
Vardy's hilarious.
Bronny is better than Fisher, really?
This is Vardy. Need I say more? Thank you, DBSH, for the $5
Where did you pull that out of nowhere? Just say he's better than, I don't know, Shannon Brown. How about that? Say that.
And again, thank you so much to DBSH. Yo, for the $5 super chat. Truly appreciate it. And again, I've got 2 Team NBA previews coming up this weekend for you. Got Chris Hine talking about the Minnesota Timberwolves, and then David Grubb on Sunday about the New Orleans Pelicans. And then don't forget, 5:30 p.m. Pacific time, it is the Lakers and the Golden State Warriors from the Chase Center. See how much better, hopefully, it will be. And then also after the game, we'll go ahead and be here as well. But guys, great show. Much better than what we saw earlier tonight. Any last thoughts before we head on out?
Nope, no last thoughts. Freaking Laker freaking basketball, man. Even though we lost, Laker freaking basketball. And you know what?
It's back.
It's back. And I said shout out to Drip Show like 4 times this show, but like every time I work from home for you guys that don't know. So I'm literally in this chair like for like 9 hours a day, 10 hours a day. And sometimes I'll turn around and I'll like go like, to the bathroom or something. And I'll really see this Luka Doncic. I'm like, damn, we really have fucking Luka Doncic on our team. And I swear it's been some time, but I'm still mesmerized by it. So that's how I'll end off the show by saying that. And I need to go.
You need to head on out, but no worries.
P. Diddy.
Yes, you go P. Diddy.
I need to go P, not P Diddy. That was crazy.
Johnny was asking earlier, Joe, are those Simblades hats for sale?
If you want one, I'll mail you one free.
Joe, mail me one right now.
I sent one to Sean a few years back. Yeah, just message me on the show or message me or email me. Give me your address and I'll send you guys some gear.
What are you, Joe Sorrell 5 on Twitter? I think.
No.
What are you? I forget. I follow you, but I don't remember what it is. I don't check out your Twitter much. So
email me at jsoro@sinblades.com. That'd be the easiest one to remember.
Okay, fair enough.
Or if you're really his friend, you have
at
his number.
sinblades.com.
And I'm
Sorrell.
Since you need Sinblades gear, that's a good place to get me.
Okay. Sorrell at sinblades.com. There you go. All right, John.
Sorrell, SORO at sinblades.com. Holla at your boy.
Holla at your boy.
All right. And on that note, it is, of course, the Lakers fast break. Again, I'll be back throughout the weekend with not one, but 2 NBA team previews with interviews that I've done. Really good ones that are coming up for you this weekend. And then, of course, the Lakers and Golden State on Sunday as well. The Lakers lose in their first preseason action, 103-81. But, as John said, look at the bright side. Lakers basketball is back. And no one is going to be covering it better than Lakers Corner, Joe Sorrell Experiment, and, of course, all of us here at the Lakers Fast Break Podcast.
You beat me to it.
That's so funny.
I was wondering if you guys were going to do the hot mic this season. It looks like.
No, that is hilarious. You know what's funny, Joe? So for the longest,